This is 7 o'clock news bulletin live from the news center of the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos receives a written message from His Highness the Emir of the State of Kuwait. His Highness Sayyid As'ad bin Tariq Al Saeed receives the Minister of Public Health of the State of Qatar. And the foundation stone is laid for the bus manufacturing project in Special Economic Zone in Duqm. Good evening once again, and thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has received a written message from His Highness Sheikh Sabah Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah, Emir of the State of Kuwait, inviting His Majesty the Sultan to attend the 30th Summit of the Supreme Council of the GCC countries due to be held on the 5th and the 6th of December in the capital Kuwait. On behalf of His Majesty the Sultan, the message was handed over to His Excellency Sayyid Khalid bin Hilal bin Saud Al Busaidi, Minister of the Diwan of the Royal Court, when he received in his office today His Excellency Fahad Hajar Al Mutairi, Ambassador of Kuwait accredited to the Sultanate. During the meeting, cordial talks were exchanged and bilateral relations between the two brotherly countries were reviewed. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cabal of greetings to His Excellency President Klaus Iohannis of Romania on his country's National Day. His Majesty the Sultan has sent a similar cabal to His Excellency President Soronbay Jeenbekov of Kyrgyzstan on his election and swearing in as the President of the country. His Majesty has sent a cabal of greetings to His Excellency Emerson Mnangagwa, President of Zimbabwe, on his election and swearing in as the President of the country. His Highness Sayyid As'ad bin Tariq Al Saeed, Deputy Prime Minister for the International Relations and Cooperation Affairs and Special Representative of His Majesty the Sultan, received in his office Her Excellency Dr. Hanan Mohammed Al Kawari, Minister of Public Health in the State of Qatar. During the meeting, cordial talks were exchanged and existing cooperation between the two countries in various areas of common concerns were reviewed. The meeting was attended by Their Excellencies Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al Saidi, Minister of Health, the Secretary General and the Advisor at the Office of the Deputy Prime Minister for the International Relations and Cooperation Affairs and Special Representative of His Majesty the Sultan. A ceremony was held to lay the foundation stone of the Karwa Motors bus manufacturing project in the Special Economic Zone at Duqm under the auspices of His Excellency Yahya bin Saeed Al Jabri, Chairman of the Board of Directors of the CZAD, with attendance of the Undersecretaries, Ambassadors and representatives of corporates operating in the Economic Zone. The project is being invested by Omani-Qatari Partnership, a strategic partnership between Muwasalat Qatar and the Oman Investment Fund. The two partners will invest around $90 million in the first phase of the project to produce 1,000 buses annually to reach 3,000 at the peak of its production. Petroleum Development of Oman signed 8 agreements for social investments in the fields of health, education and infrastructure. The agreements include the installment of a new system to provide water in the village in Thamrit, a renewal of school laboratories in Hema, Mhoud and Jazir, and providing solar lighting in Jazir. PDO will provide new specialized medical equipment and ambulances for Hema and Jazir hospitals. Electrocardiogram devices will be replaced in Ibri Hospital by 2 new ECG devices. Achievement percentage exceeded 94% in the Mira project, which is considered as one of the biggest solar energy projects in the world, and announcing details of Mabruk field is soon. This was stressed by Engineer Abdul Amir bin Abdul Hussein Al Ajmi, Chief Executive Officer of Foreign Affairs and Added Value in Petroleum Development Oman, in a statement to the Sultanate of Oman Radio and Television. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and still to come in our news bulletin. Touristic landmarks in various governorates of the Sultanate are prepared to receive visitors during the National Day leave. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. British Prime Minister Theresa May traveled to Saudi Arabia last night and met King Salman and his 32-year-old son, who now stands next in line to the throne, capping a day that saw her make a surprise visit to Iraq. May's trip to Saudi Arabia was for talks with the King and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman over the kingdom-led war in Yemen. She's the second European leader to specifically seek out the Crown Prince as he amasses power. May's visit was expected to include her asking Crown Prince Mohammed to allow humanitarian aid through Yemen's support of Hodeidah, which is held by the Houthi rebels being targeted in the Saudi-led war. United Nations chartered aid vessels docked at Hodeidah today. British Prime Minister Theresa May held talks today in Jordanian capital Amman with King Abdullah II at the end of a Mid-East tour meant to bolster ties with the region before Britain leaves the European Union. The Jordanian king champions religious tolerance and is a key partner in the battles against militancy. May discussed Britain's relationship with Jordan, traditionally an ally of the United Kingdom, investments in the country and the security situation in the region. The Conservative leader is due to give a speech later today in which she will discuss Britain's post-Brexit role in the Middle East. Key organization of the petroleum exporting countries OPEC oil ministers expressed preference today for extending crude output cuts until the end of next year, strengthening expectations that the oil cartel will decide to continue pumping less oil for more dollars. Benchmark crude prices are now close to $60 a barrel, up almost 20% since a year ago when the OPEC and their non-OPEC partners agreed to reduce supply by a daily 1.8 million barrels to push up prices. The Saudis favor continued cuts, but Iran wants a greater market share over the longer term as it claws back from the effect of more than a decade or sanctions that were lifted as part of its 2015 nuclear deal with 6 world powers. Now pumping below 4 million barrels a day, Iran has said it wants to add another 1 million barrels within 3 years. Former U.S. President Barack Obama met China's President Xi Jinping during a visit to Beijing. Obama is on a 5-day trip which takes him to China, India and France. His visit to Asia comes just a few weeks after Trump's 5-nations tour of Asia, his first as U.S. President. It's the first time Obama has met Xi in almost 15 months, when both countries ratified the Paris Climate Accord, which President Trump has since withdrawn the U.S. from. Obama will next travel to India to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi and then on to Paris. Bali's airport was operating at far from its usual capacity of more than 400 flights a day today after reopening, while ash from the Mount Agung volcano was moving southward away from the airport. Figures from the airport showed 23 flights, mostly domestic, that carried about 1,600 passengers left after the reopening yesterday afternoon. Inbound flights included the Singapore Airlines jet with only 2 passengers and another with 17 passengers. Tens of thousands of travelers have been stranded since the airport was closed on Monday due to volcanic ash. South Korean flag carriers are sending 2 charter flights to Indonesia to bring 500 to 700 stranded citizens home. An Asian airline A330 is heading to Surabaya on neighboring Java Island. Some travelers have left Bali by ferry and made their way to airports on densely populated Java. Back to more local news. Enhancing cooperation between the Sultanate and Qatar in health fields, in addition to activate and support them top discussions of His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al Saidi, Minister of Health, with Her Excellency Dr. Hanan Mohammed Al Kawari, Minister of Public Health in Qatar. During the meeting, they reviewed means of cooperation development between both countries in the medical fields and exchange expertise and integration in the field of health care. The Ministry of Tourism is focusing on finding integrated tourism among the governorates of the Sultanate and use potentials in the touristic sector by benefiting natural and historical values in addition to target projects of economic strength. In the governorate of the Far, a celebration was held in the Wilaya of Mirbat for laying the foundation stone for the project of developing Hayur Cave in Samhan's mountains in the Niaba of Atir. These projects included establishing corridors and umbrellas for shades around the sites, in addition to expand car parking, lighting and pathway, beside establishing camping area, viewing platforms supplied with telescopes for watching wildlife in Wadi Samhan, establishing rest areas and planting frankincense trees around the site. The ceremony was included a visual show on the developing projects, in addition to perform events of traditional arts with the participation of the citizens of the Wilaya. With the participation of 45 Girl Scouts and Guides, leaders from Gulf Cooperation Council countries, the activities of the 10th meeting of the Gulf Girl Scouts and Guides kicked off today at Sultan Qaboos Scouts camps in the Wilaya of Al Masuna in the Governorate of South Al Batina. The 5-day meeting, which is supervised by the Secretary General of the Gulf Cooperation Council, aims at improving participant skills to be capable of managing and leading training guides and scouts programs efficiently. The Sultanate's hosting of this event comes to emphasize on the support being rendered to scouts movement in the Sultanate and other Gulf countries. The participants expressed their deep appreciation and thanks to the Sultanate for organizing such activities which enable Gulf female guides to exchange experiences with each other and therefore enhance their skills. The main goal of this event is to prepare female training leaders in the Scouts and Guides field capable of dealing with various circumstances in life. Muscat Municipality completed the work of the project of constructing Ark's Fountain and its surrounded park. The fountain, which is located near the Royal Opera House, Muscat, considered as one of the beautification projects that distinguished by its contemporary style amid the ideal location at the side line of Sultan Qaboos Road in As-Suruj area. The foundation or the fountain design was inspired from the arcs of the Royal Opera House, Muscat, with its stylish grandeur as a civilized landmark that reflects through the flow of water lines and its transparent beauty in the artwork. The social media users sent photographs about Hormuz Strait in the Governorate of Musandam, which is famous for its distinguished geographical areas along with its extended coast and mountains. They also published photos of the village of Misfat Al-Abrin, where the old house is built on top of the mountains along with its terraced green lands. The hashtag messages also included photos of the Wilaya of Ja'lan Bani Bu Ali, which overlooks the Arabian Sea. The Wilaya is considered a stunning touristic destination with its geographical and environmental diversity, including beaches of Ashkhar al-Ashkhar, Asila, Al-Ruwais and Al-Sawih, besides its historical and archaeological sites like Al-Hamuda Fort. They're quaint with the components of the Southern Civilizational Heritage. Oman National Museum opens its doors for the visitors during this leave period. The Education Center will organize workshops for children in various fields. Those interested in diving and other seafaring activities can explore the coral reefs at Bandar Al-Khairan Reserve in Muscat, far from the noisy life of the cities, and those who care for tranquility can embrace peaceful nature in sand dunes in Al-Wahib Sands in the Wilaya of Bidia. Wadi Bani Habib in Jabal al-Akhdar is one of the old villages, though it is abandoned, still standing firm up to this time, telling its stories to its visitors from and outside Oman. I visited the village and I have made this report. The Hajar Mountains of Jabal al-Akhdar rise to 3,000 meters is a popular destination for campers and tourists. The weather here is refreshing, where visitors are seen enjoying walking in these alleys of Shreja Old Village. We then took a trip to Wadi Bani Habib, where we came across a few number of abandoned villages, such as Old Village of Wadi Bani Habib and Hillat Saad. Here too, we met with some of the visitors, where locals are seen interacting with the tourists in such a friendly atmosphere.
Living from the home.
These photogenic abandoned villages hidden between rocks continue to narrate stories on the way life used to be. To get to these villages, one needs to be ready to walk deep down the mountain to the valley and then climb a large number of stairs to reach to the first house along with masjid.
ونحن مشينا على نهجهم وعشنا في القرية هذه من بعدهم.
The houses here are built of stones and mud. Some of these stones are huge.
And this particular village is very accessible and has a very well preserved. It's a very good shape, I mean, for ruins, for being an old abandoned village. You can get a good sense of the architecture and how hard life was for people and how they managed to survive, which makes it amazing.
I really love Oman, and I think the people are so friendly and kind. This is my second time up to this mountain, and it's very, very breathtaking, beautiful.
We met with locals here who recalled the beauty of living in such places.
هذه القرية عاش فيها أجدادنا وآبانا ومن بعدهم نحن عشنا فيها وعمروها نفس الشيء.
These locals are now requesting the concerned authorities to assist in restoring their village, which they believe will boost tourism further.
نطالب الحكومة الرشيدة أن تكون نظرة في هذه القرية بترميمها وترجع حسب ما كانت قبل.
We also met with our colleagues from Saudi Arabia and have this to say.
At first we visit Oman, and this is our first time here, and we were amazed by the old village here.
Again, we met with other visitors who have expressed their delight for their visit and opportunity to meet with the Omani people. We met with some of the tourists coming from different parts of the world who have expressed their delight for their visit and the opportunity they had to meet with the Omani people.
Of progress took other countries centuries.
Friendly people. That's the one thing that from when we landed at the airport until up here meeting you here in the mountains.
History is just very, very interesting. And I must admit, I've never, Oman was not on my landscape actually, but it will be from now on. It's really fascinating what you have to offer.
Nature is very beautiful here. We love to spot many places, the mountains, the birds, everything I see.
What we want to do is to explore the nature of Oman, the culture, the history.
Flemish is the language that they speak, and we would like actually to hear from them in Flemish. What would you like to say about Oman?
Het is een zeer mooi land, zeer gastvrij.
Zeer Hafsley, what is that?
Gastvrij is a
Hospitality.
friendly, very friendly.
Friendly
Yes.
We are very much happy to see people coming from different parts of the world. You're most welcome, and we hope that you have a very good stay here. Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television, Wadi Bani Habib, Jabal Akhdar. And now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear skies will prevail over the Sultanate with chances of low clouds and fog late at night and early morning over the governorate of Al-Sharqiyya and Al-Wusta and coastal areas of Sea of Oman. Winds will be southerly to southeasterly light to moderate. Seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1 meter. This is the Sultanate of Oman Television, and now before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos receives a written message from His Highness the Emir of State of Kuwait. His Highness Sayyid As'ad bin Tariq Al Saeed receives Minister of Public Health of the State of Qatar. And the foundation stone is laid for the bus manufacturing project in Special Economic Zone in Dukhum. With that, we come to an end of tonight's news bulletin. From the entire news team and myself, we do thank you for joining us. Wish you a pleasant evening and good night.